Ooh-da-e. Welcome to the Tassanet and Sobek experience. Real talk, real time, where their experience is your medicine. What's good, fam? It's been a while, y'all. We back at full.
And we have some sizzling to
Oh,
talk
I
about.
like how you say that.
Yes.
All right, we on live now. But we have a good show today for you guys today. We're doing polydynamics part deuce, and we have a very, very dynamic guest who was recommended to us from a fan of our show. And in appreciation of that, we decided to bring on and hear what she has to say. And I'm gonna allow the queen the, the honors of introducing this beautiful, divine, and spiritual being.
So, yes, family, we have a wonderful, dynamic sister all the way from DC, Washington, DC. Used to be Chocolate City, but you know. Anyway, her name is Sister Laquetta Adams, and she is an author, a ghostwriter, and she has been named um, a motivational mogul.
Yes, yes.
So that means she has the ability to motivate you when you were complacent. And so we are going to we're going to bring her on in and have her to talk about her experience um, of being in a poly relationship.
Now, when we talk about polygamy, we're talking about an umbrella. And within that umbrella, we have, it's like a company. You have different divisions, different departments. You have polygyny, which is two queens and one brother. You have polyandry, which is several kings and one queen. You have polyamorous, which is what we're going to discuss today. And my definition of that, from my understanding, according to Google and other research, that is people who are couples loving other couples, whether it be hetero or LGBTQIA. It can be two dudes, it can be two women, it can be two women in relationship with a single brother, it can be two brothers in relationship and have a single woman, vice versa. It's such a descriptive avenue, you know. And for me, this will be a learning opportunity for us as well as yourself, because I'm curious to see what this sister experience has been. And so my first question to Sister Laquita is how you doing?
I'm doing great. And yourself?
I'm doing well. You a little nervous, so you good.
I was somewhere in between nervous and good, but I think I'm good.
Good. You got energy. I like that. I like that. So, so my first question is, explain a little bit more about who you are and what you do. Then we'll get into, further questions.
um, well, who I am, let's see, where would I like to start? You guys introduced me as Laquetta Adams, but most people know me as legendary Laquetta.
Okay.
I bring a different perspective to any and everything. And like Queen said, I'm a motivational mogul. I don't try. I just speak based upon experience, based upon what I think, based upon what my perspective is made me, and I never go with the norm. Most times I'm the adverse to the masses of what everybody else thinks. I'm the person that stands out. Currently, run a nonprofit organization called AANBC Inc. With my business partner, Timothy Newhouse, and it has several divisions and umbrellas underneath of it that are for authors, creatives, startup businesses, corporations. There's even a tax and accounting firm under the umbrella. So my whole thing is about giving back, being a leader, not being a boss, and making sure that I'm leaving a legacy for my child and my family. And that's pretty much me in a nutshell.
Excellent, excellent. And the reason why I asked you, because when it comes to polyamory, a lot of people, when they look at people who participate in these things, they don't think of people like yourself or us. They think of people who are thirsty, people who are, you know, nasty, freaky, you know, people who just have no morals. And I'm glad you explained the
Right.
fact that you are an entrepreneur and that by you being a sister, you know, also known as Black woman, you know, that you are well within your mind. So, how did your relationship come about? You know, just to give us a brief synopsis of of what
Okay, I told you it's really wrong. You know I'm different.
you're at the right
Uh,
place. You're in the right
my
place.
girl,
It's okay.
my girlfriend at the time, we had been in our relationship. I want to say maybe 3 years, and we were really good friends before we decided to date. So anytime, she wanted to do something a little bit different that she ain't had no business doing, because we were friends and I was easy to talk to, she would always talk to me about it. There was this one girl in particular that ever so often a story would come up about the same girl, and she made it sound so enchanting.
Mm.
So one day I went in her phone, I called the girl, and I invited her out for a date, and I took her out.
Wow.
Okay.
Okay. And
Bold.
like I don't know what to say on that, man, but that's definitely an alpha. That's an alpha role, man. I ain't hating on
I
that.
mean, I'm a very logical person. Well, what is so special about this girl? So I
Okay.
called her.
Okay, so she cool, cool. I
She
get
does. She did. She's a wonderful girl. She's just a little broken, as some of us all are.
Right.
So things happen, whatever.
okay. So my next question is that so how did you move from the friendship to the well you already answered that. So how long did that relationship last?
It lasted about 9 months. In all honesty, it probably could have went longer than that, but my great grandmother passed away from nothing at 102, and she raised me, and I didn't know that I suffer with depression until this happened. I broke away from everything, and that's not just my relationships. That's including my businesses, my child, my family. I really separated and went into a shell for a couple of months, and because that relationship was semi new, nobody really knew what to do with me because nothing was helping. Depression is not being sad. Depression is a chemical imbalance. And I've never been a fan of medication. I don't even take medicine for simple things like a cold or a headache. But when it comes to real mental health, medication is definitely needed. And I say that as somebody that has to take medication once a day, a simple pill, just to make sure that I keep my emotions balanced, that I keep my mind clear so that I don't drop too low, maybe, and I can't pull myself out of it because people rely on me outside of my personal life, my personal relationships. My life revolves around my companies. I love providing opportunities. I love being put in the position to teach and to lead. So, in being responsible, I have to take care of myself. I have to take care of my mind. I have to take care of my spirit as well as my energy. So, especially when it comes to diving into the poly world, I got to be careful, with who I decide to share my energy with because I come with a lot. I come with a lot of positive things that can be overwhelming to people that, don't know how to be loved or don't know how to be cared for. Maybe they don't have a real friend. I'm all about opportunities and leadership. So I try to show what I want versus telling a person what I want. And then, when they fall short, then we may end up in an argument. I'm a pretty, understanding person. I'm very laid back.
Right.
Sex is fun. Sex can be very emotional. And then there are sometimes where sex is nothing other than sex to me.
Mm-hmm.
But
Gotcha.
I'm very clear with whoever it is I'm with. I'm very, very clear with people. And it irritates me sometimes, when men want to continue to call and that's not what I want to do. But I'm nice to them. It's okay. I don't have to be rude. I can kick it. I can talk, but we probably won't do it again because that's not what I want to do. Once
Exactly.
my once my itch is scratched, for lack of better
Right.
words, I'm going back to focusing on my business and my team and building this empire that I got going on over here. That's
Excellent.
just how it works for me.
Excellent. Wow.
Oh
That's
man, I
cool.
can so relate to that one, girl. When I was in my single life.
So my question is that so when you say that this start off as monogamous, you want you met you heard about another sister who dynamic and y'all had a relationship.
between my girlfriend and I, but it was something about this girl. She just always coming
Oh, okay.
around.
So you was in a relationship with a girl already. Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Yes.
All right. Cool. Cool.
Hmm.
All right.
Mhm.
Monogamy. So your relationship before this person was introduced, was that relationship healthy? Was it healthy or was it rocky? The reason why I ask is a lot of people
I
have
would
the issue.
say. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Okay. The reason why I ask is a lot of people, one of the downfalls of the poly life is that a lot of people who are in a monogamous relationship, which is toxic, shaky, or not together, enter into the poly world, and that creates an even more toxic soup. You feel what I'm saying? Because that's
Right.
because
I agree.
yeah, because I see poly.
I would say that it was rocky because of this particular dynamic that was just hanging out there as the elephant in the room. So my way of solving it was taking my own time to go get to know this girl, not in no negative way. I was grown. I don't want to fight you. I don't want to put you down. I want to know what it is about you that my girlfriend just cannot seem to detach for years at a time. It's only
Hmm.
weeks or months or
Wow.
whatever the case may be. And I discovered that she was a great girl. Like she was a really great girl that was just seeking love, had never been loved. Her mother had died, her father had died,
Wow.
her step parents had died, her children were being raised by somebody else. Like I just wanted to wrap her up in my arms and give her a hug. I swear to God, like I wasn't even trying to be malicious or anything of that nature. And I think what was the ultimate downfall in our relationship was she couldn't accept that. She was stuck on the fact that she felt like I only wanted to pull her into our relationship out in the open so that I could be in control or, so that she wouldn't be a secret or so that I wouldn't be looking crazy. But to this day, I grew to love that girl. She don't believe me or, whatever you want to call it, but I loved her. She taught me how to be a girl. All I do is work. I'm
Hmm.
fine with stretch pants and a sweater. She gave me a reason to put on makeup. She gave me a reason to say, okay, no, let's go get our nails done. Let's go get our hair done. I think that in a poly relationship, one of the benefits, whether it's a homo, hetero, or any of the other alphabets, whatever you want to call it, um, there are multiple perspectives, there are multiple personalities, there are multiple incomes. Hot damn, that is a great ass plus. You know,
Mm.
Uh,
That part right there.
yeah, I, I
That part right there.
I get that part. I get that part. And saying when you and your
I'll
girl
give
was
you a perfect example.
okay.
One morning, one morning, she and I were taking a bath, and my girlfriend walked in, and we just ended up having some coffee and having a conversation. And the young lady that was the third party to our relationship now, she has the tendency to lie for fear of being judged, for fear of not being liked. Like she just feels like she has to have the right answers to please whoever she's talking to. My girlfriend had never put her hands on me. Very seldomly will raise her voice at me because I really don't give her a reason to or whatever. Like we just had that kinetic energy where we didn't have those
Mm.
types of arguments.
Right.
But the answer that the third party gave was a lie. Like we had already seen the messages and everything pop up on the phone. I just didn't get a chance to tell her, please don't lie. And in that moment, my girlfriend hit her so hard that her face broke the ceramic in the shower.
Oh
Wow.
my gosh.
So it was all
I
three. So it was all
immediately,
three of y'all. It
I
was
immediately leaped out of the tub
okay.
and had to resolve the situation and let her know you can never put your hands on me. You're not about to put your hands on her either.
Okay.
It turned into she's a liar. This is what's been going on all these years. I always do this to her. We always get into it. Yes, sis, but that's toxic. Like we had a conversation about this, and you agreed to this. So the same respect that you treat me with, you're going to treat her with. I'm not asking you. It's not a request. It's a goddamn demand. You don't put your hands on her. I don't care what she say. She can lie and say the sky is black.
Mm.
Leave her alone. Like
Okay.
Hmm.
you gonna have to learn how to communicate. Like their energy was weird. As
Okay.
enchanting as the young lady was,
Mm.
I literally was the glue in the middle of what they were trying to be.
Okay. So
They spent more time individually with me versus us together because I
oh,
had to
I
be
okay.
proven.
see.
it turned into something that I wasn't trying to turn it into. I wanted a throuple.
I get
You
you.
got a
Okay.
son, I got a son, our sons are sex or not just for social media. I'm a Cancer Leo, so I'm sensitive. I love hard and I love deep. I'm getting older. We can
Right.
play within the realm of the relationship and even add people to it if that's what we want to do. But as far as the foundation, I became the glue, and that's not what I started it with.
Okay.
I see.
I want to ask you another thing because I remember we had earlier discussions, and I know that you said you've been with two brothers before. So, but before we get to that story, so
I say
explain.
that?
Yes,
I don't remember that.
you don't. Okay, all right.
No.
Okay.
You showed up to me? I know I'm
Yes.
drinking wine, but wait, let me
No,
think
no.
about this. Who did I
Okay.
do that? Mm-mm.
Okay. So then my question, besides that, so my question is, so is polyamorous specified for the LGBTQIA community? Because that's what it's, when you look at it, the definition, and when you see illustrations on Pinterest and you see illustrations on social media and all that, it's usually, two women say they're looking for a wife, or two women say looking for a husband. So basically, you, from what it sounds, and I'm just saying what you're saying, Queen, that you and
Mhm.
your girlfriend decide to include a third person, and that third person brought a toxic vibe to that. Is
She did.
okay. All right. So, but you and your lover were solid. Y'all was in a good relationship.
Yeah, we were
Okay.
good.
Okay.
We
Cool.
really didn't have any, which was why I wasn't ready to leave my relationship. I wanted to try something different and figure out what the hell was, really going on.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
When I originally spoke with you guys in the beginning of the month, I was all the way single, right?
Right.
And then 2 weeks ago, my boyfriend from high school reached out to me like randomly, and he looks like a sex doll. Like that's what always people said about him. When we was in high school, but we never had sex until uh maybe about 7 days ago or something like that. So this is like 20 years in between me knowing somebody that I dated. Like I loved him hard in high school, right? So when I was sitting down
Hmm.
talking to him last night, because things was moving kind of quickly, even though I'm trying to slow him down. I asked him about the poly thing. He knew I had an interview coming up. We've always been good friends, so I was very open with him. And when I say y'all, he didn't have an answer for any of my poly questions,
Mm.
any of the adult questions. He had no understanding of what any of it means. So as I
Wow.
started to explain it to him, because I wanted to know, was I going to scare him off, right? Like
Right.
this has been 20 years in the making,
Right. Right.
bubbling. We never did it. Now we done jumped in. Now I need to know some things
Right.
because
Right.
I'm not about to change.
Right. I need for you to understand or know where you know it.
Go ahead and ask these free spirited questions. So as I was asking him, he was just like, educate me, like tell me what it means, like what are those urges? Like he it was tight for it to hear him say that he has loved me since I was 14 and he was 14. So whatever I want to do, he's willing to try. I don't think that poly anything is taboo. I think that people just don't know what it is.
Right. Yeah. I I get that with a lot of people. Or they don't know what it is, or they assume they know. You know what I mean? They assume like they
Exactly.
think it's all about sex because they're coming from I say the European mindset because when you study polygamy and the poly lifestyle, which originally was polygamy, which was started with in Africa, and it was
Okay.
based upon war. So when the men would go to war and they would die, the children and the widows were left behind. So the women that still had husbands, they were like, well, we can't just leave the wives and the children by themselves. We need to bring them into our family because that's African way. That's African thought. It's about
Okay.
collectiveness, about togetherness. So in today's time, when the European conquered Africa and they started seeing how their lifestyle was, the Europeans, they didn't know, so they misconstrued it, and so ever since then, a lot of people think that poly is all about sex, or the man just want to have multiple women, or the man or the woman, say, oh, well, if the man can do it, I can do it too. Okay, but do you really understand the dynamics of it,
Right.
and why do you want to get
I just
into it?
wish that we got away from labels. I think that labels are a big part of the problem. Like, why do we have to have alphabets and names and terms and acronyms? Why can't we just be people?
Right.
In a simplistic world, that would be so beautiful. But you have to understand that we live in under a different mindset again. The European mindset is
Right.
very methodical, very left brain. But
Hmm.
also, I want to add some clarity to the to what my queen was saying, and that is that in the early days, polygamy was reserved for royalty and elite families. You had to
Right.
be able to afford it, and of course, as time
Mm-hmm.
progressed, things changed. And
Hmm.
it just wasn't. It's not. I wouldn't say an African thing. But we're Africans. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? So I can only speak on my people because when you read the Bible, you know Jewish people or the Hebrew nation,
Hmm.
aka, Yiddish folks, you had Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob who had, several wives and they
Hmm.
chose
Right.
certain favorite wives. But my point, what I want to get to is that depending on what individual person you are, like the way, that's why we have labels like sexual fluidity or, gay, lesbian, transgendered, or, non binary. It's all the aspect of people trying to define themselves individually and to connect in a general way. And African people are communal people. So that's why I was drilling you, I want the listeners and the viewers to understand you as a person, and then they'll understand the aspect of the poly dynamic you chose.
Hmm.
Because
Right.
by you being with a woman, people will say that you're a lesbian and that you guys introduce a third person to excite your relationships. And that's the same thing that people do in the hetero situation. That's the
Right.
same thing that people do.
Definitely. And
Yeah.
I
So
introduced that last night.
yes,
Hmm.
yes. Ooh, okay, right
Yeah.
on, right on. Lucky man. But but I
No,
will.
I'm just saying.
It's all right. Keep it 100. That's what I asked for. That's what I asked for. So now that you are reconnecting with this young man, you know, hopefully this will help him understand. I hope he watches this show. You guys watch it together. But that's why I want to understand. To me, I feel that depending on type of individual you are, like for me and my queen, we're polygynous. Two, we're heterosexual, quote unquote.
Hmm.
Mhm.
And she won't be sleeping with our sister.
No, no, that's not how our poly structure
Dynamic.
will be.
Yeah,
I'm not into
Okay.
women, and I'm not saying that to be offensive like
at
that. I'm
all.
just
No, no,
saying.
no.
But I we will have a sister wife, and so I'll have my relationship with her as a sister, and then she will have her relationship marriage with Sebek, and
Mhm.
and then we will have the relationship, as a family. So it's a community within the family, pretty much.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like how you say, as far as like group economics, particularly economics is beneficial, you know, and the aspect of for me, legacy, I want children,
Yes.
so the aspect of I'm comparing polygyny with polyamory. So please don't take it as me knocking the poly
No,
that
no, I don't. Not at all.
okay, because some people will take offense to that. So but we're here to educate, and I want to people to understand that. And see, it's exciting to have you on the show. It's because you are defining stuff for me,
Right.
because so I can understand. So that's a good thing,
Yeah.
African people, they say there's no black unity, but we do have black unity because right now there are three African people, black people, discussing with different points of views and finding out we have a common goal, and that's to have a healthy relationship and be the best person that we can be in our relationship. And
Absolutely.
it's good to see that because see, I
Right.
like the fact that you ain't hating on dudes. And see, a lot of people think that polyamorous is like that. When you see women talk about it, I heard women talk about the poly lifestyle. You know, it's basically, you know, lesbian women, you know,
Mm.
discounting the male
Men.
energy. And that's the thing that I'm glad you're here to clear up. You know, I want you to have a healthy relationship. Period. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like I don't, but I think that's also because I don't have a preference for gender.
Correct.
I really, and I can say this since I was young, I resonate with energy.
Yeah.
Within the neighborhood that I grew up in, I was a tomboy. I played with the boys, the girls, my cousins, some of them. You know, they were very catty, very early, very toxic, always want to fight from other neighborhoods. Shit that I just didn't have any interest in doing. So
Mm.
I would put on some jeans, some tennis shoes, t-shirt, and I would go play in the parking lot with the boys.
This
I
is
was
up.
in eyesight of my house. My grandmother could see me,
Right.
so I could stay out late. I got to run around and get tired, get dirty, go home. I ain't get beat up. You know, I had way less issues, and even as an adult, those same ladies, toxic, catty. I'm related to a lot of them, but I
Wow.
still don't deal with them, and my energy noticed that as a child. My
Mm.
attraction to people is all about energy. Like, can you make me laugh? Can you support me on my bad day? I really don't care what body parts you have.
Right.
In my experience, women, when they really love you, they will overlook all your flaws anyway.
That is
So
so
okay,
True
you
true.
that.
don't
True
have
that. I agree.
okay, so you don't have a penis and you a girl. Okay, let's go buy one, or let's use some fingers, or let's use a hairbrush. Goddamn, I don't care what we use.
That's
Let's
what's up.
figure it out.
Right,
Let's
right.
figure it out. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So I don't see gay, straight, lesbian, homo, hetero.
Mm.
Just in my experience with women, women will overlook what's missing. So if a woman had to date somebody with a paper bag and that person made over their head, that person made them happy, that person made them laugh, that person loved their children, that person got along with their family, that person inspired them to have goals and want to be better. And
Mm.
then, oh my goodness, it doesn't have a penis. I bet you by the time they fell in love, they wouldn't care that it was a woman, because that's how I fell in love with my first girlfriend. I didn't look at her as a girl. I kind of didn't recognize that she was a girl until I started getting dirty looks in the public, because I
Okay.
was walking down the street holding hands with a girl, and it made me feel some kind of way. Like, why people looking at me like this?
Well,
Mhm.
I was 17. What's the problem? Like, okay, did I do something bad? Like, it really made me feel bad that I loved a person, not that I loved a girl.
Right,
okay.
right,
So you
We
come.
wasn't even having sex, so I didn't have to deal with that part yet of, oh man, it's no penis down there. What I supposed to do?
right.
Now be careful. It isn't. That was a cool way to be because I'm listening to you talk, and the thing that I noticed, you have a healthy image of yourself. You have a healthy attitude towards yourself. You're not desperation. Because my thing is that my experience with seeing two women together was my time. I used to work at a gay bar because it paid more money,
Hmm.
and
Okay.
I would see people who I would see people who would circle. I would see women who come into the. I would see women who come into the bar, and would circle and would circle. The woman, and next thing you know, 2 weeks, 2 nights later, or Friday night on a Monday, you see them do that, and on a Friday night they hanging out. So I
Mm.
like the aspect that you explained that you had a healthy relationship because you felt energy, and that's a good way of saying it because even quote unquote, as those of us who say they are conscious, we always talk about resonating.
Right.
We always talk about we're energy beings having a divine experience, and in some cases, this could be, you know, one of those cases where you was in tune with yourself and didn't know it, and you just flowed openly and inclusively
Right.
with people. And that's the
Mhm.
whole point about being human, I would say. What do you say on that, Queen?
Yeah, it's important because I'm big on energy too, and if the person has really good energy, I can vibe with them,
That's what's up.
you know.
Right.
But, as for when it comes to dating, my preference, is men. But I like to I like to definitely agree when you said when women, when we love hard, and if we like
Hmm.
really into you, we will look past your flaws.
Yes.
Yep.
You know, because there have been many a times in my previous relationships, girl, baby, someone didn't have no teeth.
but
I just look right on past it.
but I would like to go. I like to go back to one point, and I want to say that because this is a 100 show, right?
Right,
So for
Right.
me, I would say I understand when you're coming from where you see people for people.
right,
You know what I'm saying? Because there was a
exactly.
time being a black man and to openly admit that I experimented with being with a dude because I was trying to find myself. So and leading to that, you know, they I was able to make a choice. So that's the thing. It's not like you said, there's no such thing as you don't see gender, you don't see yeah. You knew you. And that's the thing with me. Once I knew what I fit in at or my preference, I made a choice. And that's why I like the aspect that you made a choice.
Right,
You made a choice to, and you made choices that benefit you. And I say that to the audience. I say that to the audience as well. Make a choice that benefits you
that's
because
right.
within
Right.
this world, particularly with social media, people are so quick to become sheeple, and if you stand
Yep.
on your own,
Right,
then you get criticized for having your own ideas and individuality.
Yep.
Individuality has a limit, I would say, and just my opinion, because eventually when you find out who you are on an individual basis, you connect
But
on
I think that starts in the household. And so many people will debate me on this, and I'm sorry if I ruffle feathers, but I think in
ruffle them.
society today, we are raising suckers for kids,
oh,
for children.
wow,
I
that's a
don't, in
show
my
right there.
entire high school, and I had this conversation with my friend, my new friend, my male friend, the other day because we spent 4 years in high school together. There's now one person that committed suicide,
Mm,
and gay was emerging.
nice,
Bullying was happening.
nice.
Joning and talking shit about people and your mama this and your mama that was
Yeah,
very prevalent.
yeah, very
Very prevalent.
prevalent.
We don't know one person in high school. We sat there drinking and thought
Yeah,
about that shit.
right.
Everybody we knew either died from a car accident, something unfortunate, or they died after we graduated,
Mm,
drugs, gun violence, whatever the case may be. But none of them killed themselves. My
Right.
best friend that is dead to this day, God rest her soul, her mother was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis.
wow.
We both were neck and neck for valedictorian every year. That was just our competition with one another. I loved her. She was brilliant,
Mm,
brilliant, and kept me on my toes. She wasn't allowed to graduate because she didn't have enough attendance days in school. I
Wow.
fought for her so hard, straight A's, but she had to go get 2 jobs. Her mother is now crippled. Her
mm,
mother is waiting for disability. They have no way to pay their rent. She went and got 2 jobs. My high school didn't let her graduate. Not only did she not get her accolades and her medals and her everything that we worked hard for 4 years, she got stripped of all of that. She had to go to summer school.
Wow.
okay.
Thank God that by then, her mother's disability had came around so she could actually attend summer school. But she went to work. She didn't say, "Oh my God, my mother is sick. My friends keep talking about me because my mother got the hunchback. I'm gonna go kill myself." Yeah,
Right.
people were looking at me crazy because I'm walking down the street holding hands with a girl. My first thought was not that I'm going to go kill myself.
Got you.
Mm.
Well, I'm,
Where
I'm
is the support system and the tough skin that we had 20 years ago?
right on. Right on. Well, sis, I appreciate you being here. So I'm gonna ask you to, because I want to give us a summation when you enter into a polyamorous relationship. What do you feel is required? What do you feel is required? Speak on it for like
Open
maybe two
mindedness,
minutes.
open mindedness, definitely open mindedness and honesty. Honesty is key in any relationship. You got to be comfortable enough to say what you really want to say, no matter how you're feeling. You also got to be comfortable in knowing who you are. And
Mm,
in the event that you're not comfortable with who you are, you got to be comfortable enough to say that to your partner. Like partnerships are important. I'd rather say I have a partner than I have a boyfriend or a girlfriend. Because if you're my partner, that means you're just as invested as I am.
Right.
Right on.
Honesty,
Okay.
trust will come with honesty. There's no rushing it. Because if you have that comfortability and you're honest with one another, the trust will be there. And in the event that the trust is broken, you will have that comfort enough. And again, that partnership, you won't want to throw away your investment. So you'll want to work on it and fix it and keep on moving forward.
Okay. One more
My
question.
party relationship, oh, I'm sorry.
No,
Go
no.
ahead.
Go ahead. Finish your statement. My apologies.
No, I was just going to say my initial party relationship, unfortunately, didn't last. But it didn't last because the relationship was toxic. It didn't last because I didn't know that I suffered with a mental health issue and I completely walked away from it. So my situation isn't the same as what most people talk about. If you bring a third party in, oh, it's going to be toxic and your relationship's going to fall apart. That does happen. That's just not what happened to me.
Okay.
Right.
My question is too, what advice do you have for the brothers out there? Because a lot of black men. I'm talking to a black audience along with the rest of the world. As a black woman, what is your opinion or advice to brothers who think they know about polydynamics? How should they prepare themselves, or how they should, how would it, what do you not like, or what would turn you off or would turn you on?
Well, advice. I honestly don't have any advice because I can't say go to a group or a support group or go to Google. I mean, of course, go to Google, but then anything you find on Google, you need to research that as well because the information is put there about people like you and me. Um, I think that they should have some patience. If that's something that they're seeking, I
Mhm.
think that they should be upfront about that when they're dating a woman and not wait
Yes.
until she fall in love with you and then say,
Absolutely.
"Oh yeah, I want to
Mm,
be poly," or "I want two girlfriends." I know a lot of men that will say to a woman, I want two girlfriends," because I want to have sex with more than one woman and I want it to be okay. Ladies, when you hear that from a man, educate him.
right.
Don't let him keep thinking that what he's saying, is correct. It's the same as if the sex was bad. Don't tell him, "Oh yeah, you the best," and you beat it up. That's
Yeah.
lying.
Yeah.
Tell him the truth.
Tell the
Tell him
truth,
what you
Queen.
want.
Tell the truth.
Don't lay there and let somebody else be satisfied while you're sacrificing your dignity. No,
Right.
we
Right on.
came to do this. So let me tell you how I want this done. Thank you very much.
Exactly.
Right on. Well, sis, we definitely appreciate you.
Absolutely.
Hang out with us online if you want to. I want to, talk about a little interesting thing. And if you feel you want to chime, Mad TV, a song in American Gods, which
Rafa Ras, master drummer and psychologist.
yeah, I saw him in American Gods, and he did a riveting speech as a Nazi. And because of that speech, in case entailed human trafficking, entailed systematic racism, entailed how the lack of African people stand by and watch African people oppressed. The company that he worked for, hold on for a second, let me look at my notes here, y'all. He was released by Fremantle, a British media company that's international. They have, subsidiaries in America, Australia. They have other companies, as far as Wild Works and um, um, Miso TV. They fired him because of that. The brother was saying that educated white people trying to tell him the black experience. He was let go. To me, because of that, I will never watch that show again, ever. It to me, I saw the scenes. I was a fan of the show, and because the brother put the truth out there through media, which a lot of entertainers do, and I don't have much I don't really, when it comes to the words of celebrities, I tend to not take them because they're probably doing it for PR or whatever. But the speech that the scene that the brother talked about, it was powerful. So I recommend that you guys go back and look at that. Look at if you got on demand, look at American Gods. And because that speech was so riveting and so truthful about capitalism and systematic racism and all those things, the brother was snatched off. And I'm thinking about doing a show about that. But I just wanted to say, because he was snatched off, I'm in support of brother Orlando Jones. And if you watch this, bruh, come on the show, man. Give us some real details, as far as I know, give us names, just give us your view, give us your side of the story, because I think that what you wrote was beautiful. You produced that, you wrote that, and I felt those words, and I want to say to Brother Jones that, hey man, when you did that, when you talked about the aspect of every 30 seconds, a melanated sister disappears every 30 seconds. When you talked about the aspect of Colin Kaepernick, bending the knee, when you said niggas can't bend the knee, you spoke on very poignant points. And I'd like to hear your view on that. So if you're watching this, man, connect with us. Come on our show. We're in South Central LA, man. You don't mind being in the hood. I don't.
And I just want to say, um, people who are non-melanated, they tend to get very scared when we are talking about social issues that affect us as melanated people. And so I feel the reason why he was snatched off was because of the passion that came through his acting when he was doing that scene. Because I
Yes.
seen that scene multiple times, and it it just brought chills in my body. And I was like, man, I can so feel what he's saying. But because, it's not happening to, it may not have happened to like to some black people, or it may not have happened to, some non melanated people. They just didn't get it. Or they did get it and they didn't want to deal with it.
Yes.
That's what it was. That's my opinion, that they didn't want to deal with it, because it's true. The systemic racism, the social structural that we have to deal with on a constant basis, even today in 2019, as we go into 2020, is real. And so when by him acting and talking about that and bringing so much passion about it, they was just like, you know what, this is just too much, and we just gonna just get rid of him.
Right, but I think also they couldn't have pulled it off without some melanated educated Negroes. I mean Negroes, not NE, but KNEE dash GRO. Some Negroes, some Brule brothers and sisters.
Yes,
Allow that, because white folks can only move if we allow them to move.
right. And
We
that's why they keep those individuals who are the yes people around them.
Yes, like sister was saying, she don't want to get involved in any moves, because how well, for me being in movements, I seen how black people will turn on you, and so,
Right.
but I want to talk about this in a later show.
Yeah,
But
absolutely. We should.
it just
We
popped in
need
my
to.
head. Yeah, it just popped in my mind to talk about this. Because the aspect of mindset, like sister was talking about, when she walked into a poly before she got involved in her poly dynamic,
Right.
she her mindset was together.
Right.
And so that's the thing, is they do everything that is relative to us, true story, not his story, but our story.
Right.
They tend to want to erase, the person who wrote it, and take them out of sight, and decrease the momentum.
Right.
Well, before we chop it up, y'all, feel free to subscribe.
And hit the like button.
Exactly.
Thumbs up, thumbs up. Hit the like.
And if you gossip, word of mouth, y'all. It's a new show in town. You know what I'm saying? And we're here to talk about all type of topics. But we're looking forward for your comments. Give us show ideas. Give us other topics that remain untouched, because we're back, y'all. We're not going to be gone too long. And I appreciate Sister Laquetta coming on. And
Yes, thank you, Laquita, for
yes,
coming
yes. As
on.
we say in
You're
Madu, do
welcome.
wah ooh. Thank you. Do wah ooh. Thank you. We welcome you. And if there's not a problem, we might ask you back on another show to talk about mental health, if that's okay.
Absolutely.
Anytime, anytime.
Yeah.
I'm always open to that.
Yes, yes, yes. We
Clearing
appreciate
up some of the misconceptions.
dig it. All
Because
right,
there's a lot
y'all.
of misconception out there. So it takes us to educate.
You got any closing words, Queen?
I just want to say thank you. Thank you for everyone, who listens, who comments, who um continue to support us. We always attempt to bring topics that are thought provoking,
Yes.
that's going to give you something to think about, something for you to chew on.
And
You
piss
know,
people off.
of course,
I love
that's
that.
why
I
I like
love
doing
that
that
shit.
too. Is and talking about controversial topics that people shy away from, but they really want to talk about it, but they don't afraid of what people are going to say. But I just want to say thank you all for the support, and we are back. And we will be coming with coming forth with more topics.
And again, throw us your ideas, man. This is a community. This is a community effort. This is a communal. African people are communal people. We lost that. I wouldn't say we lost that. We forgot that.
Right.
Back in the day when I was a kid, if Mrs. Jones whooped your ass, your mama was waiting too.
That's right.
So let's get back to that, y'all. As we say in Madu, Shahim
Shahim
Hatep,
Hatep,
Ankh
Ankh
Ujasaneb.
Ujasaneb.
And we out, y'all.